Ostensibly, The Great Gatsby and Drive seem to be polar opposites. One is a postmodern jazz-age drama, and the other a glossy neon-coloured crime film. However, if we go deeper, both reflect the same fate, an isolated man who chases his idealised self and his idealised version of love, although they both ultimately discover that their carefully constructed fantasies can't save them. In this video, I will explore how Gatsby and the driver pay the price for their dreams and lose themselves along the way. If we start with Gatsby, we can see that he desperately tries to reinvent himself. He changes his name from James Gatz to J. Gatsby, signifying a shift towards his new money life. He desperately tries to be accepted into old money society with Daisy, Tom, and the rest. We don't know much about the driver. He's nameless, with no history. This is purposefully done to show that both characters begin with a clean slate. They use this silence as protection because it allows them to build their own identities to meet their own expectations, as well as their perceived expectations of what society expects them to be. Both Gatsby and the driver focus very much on maintaining their image of masculinity. Gatsby does this through performance. His entire life revolves around how others perceive him. He throws extravagant parties, has charm, confidence, and wealth, and wants everything to appear perfect. The driver also performs, but in a slightly different way. He does this through his restraint, silence, and graphic violence. His cool, unconcerned personality is admired and seen as a sign of strength and power. For these men, emotional honesty is not valued, and mysterious energy is praised. The driver barely talks, while Gatsby can be said to talk too much. Yet somehow, both of them represent the same identity, one of confidence, mystery, and unwavering determination. Now we're going to talk about when clothing becomes a costume. Gatsby always looks physically out of place, his pink suit contrasting the more normal colours of Nick and Tom. It also symbolises how far into his fantasy he really is. He no longer belongs to his own world. The epigraph of the novel actually references a golden hat, which can explain Gatsby's spectacle and why he somewhat feels like a circus performer. The driver's white scorpion jacket, at first, is nothing too important, just an item of clothing. The animal itself is legendary and powerful, referenced in the film through the scorpion and the frog line. The jacket becomes a costume when it goes from pure white, a symbol of self-control, to blood-stained and deep red, which signals the fall of the driver's fantasy. Gatsby commits himself to the following of a grail, an object that isn't set in reality. Now, is his grail really Daisy? He waited for her, chased after her, despite her marriage to Tom, which he also tried to break. Similarly, the driver chases Irene, despite knowing very little about her and having minimal conversations, because she is his ticket to being normal. These are both cases of idealized love. The dream is more important to them than the actual person. Both of these women function as symbols and not real partners to our protagonists. Both films are different visually, but they have the same emotional hollowness. The Great Gatsby shows hedonism, noise, and extravagance, compared to Drive, where there is silence, minimalism, and loneliness. The glossy surfaces and glamorous parties distract us from the emptiness embedded within. Masculinity built on suppression leads to destruction. Violence exposes the cracks in reality. Gatsby's American dream fails through his death, despite him still believing in his fantasy, all the way till waiting for Daisy's call. The driver's violence slowly tarnishes his public image through a series of deaths, ultimately forcing him into a new life. The ending of Drive is left ambiguous. We don't know how it will turn out for him. Is his life actually over? The American so-called dream is built on restarting and self-erasure. Success is only what others see, which is why the characters have carefully curated public appearances. They slowly lose their sense of self, fixated on creating their perfect image of life. The dream replaces reality, but always turns dark. No matter how close they get, both men remain outsiders. Gatsby is never accepted by old money, and the driver can't be in Irene's life. Both stories are seemingly different, but they show us that chasing the dream, living a performance, and general emotional distance doesn't make you cool or fulfilled. It just leaves you with a cold, creeping feeling of regret and isolation. Neither man explains himself. Gatsby avoids his past. We are only told this through the perspective of Nick, an unreliable narrator. And the driver, well, he doesn't speak much at all, preventing real connection. We will never really truly understand these characters, and they forever remain mysterious. Whether this was done on purpose or not, I guess we'll never know.